Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and it has been so long since we have done one of these mega scary TikTok compilation videos where we take a look at all the scary videos trending on my TikTok For You page recently. I know these super long videos are some of you guys' favorites, and I'm really happy to finally bring you one. We have everything from paranormal stuff today to some barbarian-esque Airbnbs that I cannot wait to share with you, and I'm very excited to get spooked together. But before we get into it, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Aura, for helping to support this channel. And you know what's even scarier than these videos are the real life data brokers currently selling your information to stalkers, scammers, marketers, anyone who pays up the right fee, all without your consent. The good news is that you can request to get this information taken down. The bad news is that these companies make it notoriously time consuming and difficult to do so, and that's where Aura comes in. They take care of the hard part and submit takedown requests to all of those data brokers, even the really tricky ones. Listen, as someone whose identity was literally stolen earlier this year for credit card fraud, your online privacy is crucial to protecting your information. And Aura is a great partner in fighting for that privacy that you deserve. They also have fantastic features like their secure VPN that notifies me every time that I'm on an unsecure Wi-Fi point, and Aura helps me stay protected. They also have real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, and if anything does happen, they offer up to $5 million in identity theft protection. So try Aura for free for 14 days when you go to aura.com/LoeyLane. That should be more than enough time to see if your information has been exposed and sold, and Aura will take care of the rest. Thanks so much to Aura for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into these scary videos together. I saw this paranormal TikTok from Daniellemunnelly, and it's captioned, "My house is haunted and all the candles blow out on their own." You can see she has brought a birthday cake, and she kind of goes to blow out the candles and has to like straighten up, you know, get into the posture. And as she's getting ready to really blow them out, they just go out on their own. I know there are prank candles that can do things like this, but she literally says everyone was stressed by this point after the candles blow out on their own. Like, everyone around her was wondering what was going on too.
Happy birthday to you.
I said happy birthday, Blondie.
Oh, how did you do that?
What did you do?
What did you do?
That was weird. That wasn't
Did
me.
you do it?
That wasn't me.
That was strange, wasn't it? What happened?
I guess the ghost thought that they were singing happy birthday to them. I mean, how were you to know? But what a spooky viral video to start off this little compilation. So what do you think would be the scariest urban legends if they were real? That was a question posted on TikTok somewhat recently, and one user named Literallylizzi answered, and let me tell you, this girl's story does not disappoint.
What do you think would be the scariest urban legend if they were real?
One of the most terrifying urban legends that came out of my hometown that terrified me as a kid and still terrifies me to this day as an adult has to do with necromancy, the act of bringing the dead back to life. The more that I've dived into this, the less I actually think that it is an urban legend as opposed to just history. Did you know that the last recorded witch hunt to happen in the US happened in Oklahoma? It wasn't the same large-scale witch trial like it was in Salem, but nevertheless, we were not immune to the panic here. And I believe a lot of this panic came out of the urban legend. So back in the late 1800s, potentially even the early 1900s, there was an epidemic of meningitis. And it's thought that one of the people that had suffered from this was this woman's husband. We don't know what her name is, but all that we know is that she had a fascination with the occult. Although it's never specified in the urban legend exactly what he passed from, I can only assume it was something like this. And I'll tell you why later. But she was so overwhelmed with him passing unexpectedly that she didn't know how to deal with her grief properly. And instead of going through the typical 7 steps of grief, she decided to take matters into her own hand and try black magic. She wanted to be able to perform necromancy in order to bring her husband back to life again. After this man had already been buried, she went out and exhumed the body herself. Somehow was able to bring him back to her place, began a summoning ritual in order to conjure him back into his body.
This is like a freaking horror movie. She literally says the only like media she guesses she really has to base some of this off of is like something like practical magic, which I can't believe we're getting a practical magic too. That's so crazy. But stay on topic, Lo. This is serious stuff, and it gets so much weirder.
Because I have personally never witnessed something like this occurring, I only have media to fall back on. I can't help but think about things like Practical Magic or American Horror Story, Coven, because during those times where bringing someone back to life was successful, they were never really themselves anymore. In fact, had the potential to be something much darker. Nevertheless, she attempted and was allegedly unsuccessful, but the town ended up getting wind of this. I don't know if her bestie tattled on her, I don't know if there was a smell coming out of her house, but regardless, someone from the town went to her and removed the body and reburied him. She was not about to let this happen, so she went back and dug up the body again later that night, brought him back to her house, set him on the table, and performed a ritual again. Someone went to the gravesite, saw that he had been dug back up again, went back to her house and got him. Pretty soon, this became a thing between her and the entire town. She would dig him back up again, and they would come and go get the body. It essentially got to the point where things were getting out of hand, and they wanted her to stop doing it, so they just put cement over the grave. And there's claw marks in this cement that is allegedly from her trying to continue to dig him back up. But there are no answers as to what happened to her after this. To this day, you can still go visit this grave. The reason that this urban legend scares me so badly is not because of what happened then, but because of what happens at the grave now. And the fact that this grave is linked to possession.
Not her continuously trying to dig up this dang grave. Like, girl, let it go.
Well, people will still go to this grave today, and for lack of a better terms, weird shit happens. Even though her husband is technically buried there, we don't really know where she ended up being. People go there specifically to do rituals to call on her, or leave her offerings, or much darker things. Some things you will commonly see being left on the grave is flowers, coins, anything that's considered to be like a small offering to her. And anyone who shows up and makes fun of this whole urban legend, bad things happen. Allegedly, there was a guy who actually showed up and was very, very disrespectful to the grave, and afterwards got into a horrible accident. People have experienced anything from whispers, to pulls, to forceful grabs, all the way to seeing full apparitions at the gravesite. Some people even allegedly witnessing full-blown demonic possession. Even though this urban legend scares me so freaking badly, I still have so many questions. If this did happen, who is this woman? Is her husband actually buried under there? What happened to her later? Because there's no story about what happened to her later. Is she buried anywhere? If literally none of this is true, why are people reporting demonic possession at this gravesite? Regardless, I figured that we would pack up some stuff and head down to Skiatook, Oklahoma. Maybe we can ask some of these questions and figure out exactly what's at this gravesite. If you're seeing this, go to my... It's under the same name that's on here, by the way.
This is such an interesting story and such a weird urban legend I personally had never, ever heard of. And I just am enamored with the way that Lizzie tells stories. She's a friend of mine who I know like IRL, and I think she's so cool. I always see her at the horror premieres and events and stuff. And yeah, she's just a fantastic storyteller. I need to do another one of my little like favorite TikTok accounts that you should actually watch alone and at night and whatever, and she needs to be on that list. Remind me, somebody, please. Speaking of really cool creators though, I stumbled across this person. I'm gonna say their name is Psychopoly. I feel like that sounds about right. But anyways, he's been making iceberg videos on TikTok, and they are all really, really, really fascinating. This one in particular is the Google Earth iceberg. Now this video is like 5 minutes long. I don't want to play the entirety of it for you, but there were a couple that I found really, really interesting.
Google Earth iceberg. First up, we got donkey hit by Google car. So if you go to this road in Botswana, you will end up seeing this donkey just standing there. But then after the Google car passes, you can look back and see the donkey laying on the ground as if it got hit by the car. This got pretty popular online, and a lot of people were complaining to Google about it and accusing them of hitting the donkey. But then in 2013, Google released an official statement saying they didn't hit the donkey, and they showed pictures and explained how the donkey just laid down after the Google car passed to take a dust bath, which makes sense. Creature on the balcony. So this is a really popular one. There is this town in France where this one block now is just completely blurred out on Google Street View. But if you go back in time and look at what it looked like, you will see a picture of this weird, creepy creature on the balcony standing near a bicycle that looks like a strange, evil alien thing. What's funny is this got so popular that it started a whole big argument online. And so Google tried to blur out like just the creature thing, which made it look way more ominous. And so it definitely grew the popularity. And yeah, Google did it to themselves.
I feel like I have seen the creature on the balcony one, maybe in like a Bizarre Bub video or something previously, but this next one, Help, is so weird, and I've never personally seen this one either.
Help. There's this area in Los Angeles where there's a whole bunch of different signs that say the words help spelled out really big as if it's someone trying to get someone's attention that's stranded on an island. This sparked a lot of debate online on whether it was actually someone in trouble or if it was something else. If you go into Google Street View, most of the area where the signs are blocked by walls, but from one angle you can see one of the larger signs. The area isn't extremely nice, which kind of adds to the creepiness of it. I personally thought it was just someone calling for help because they lived in Los Angeles, but the local police investigated these help signs and found it was linked to a homeless man who was trying to complain about how the LAPD treated homeless people.
But yeah, definitely check out this person's account as well. But now we're gonna get into some paranormal videos. And it never matters how many times I see videos like this. It's 12 a.m. guys. You can't tell me I'm paranoid. Now, what is that? Send help. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, it took me a couple of times, it looks as if somebody is watching them through the crack in the door. Similarly, Gizmo 2019 posted, I was just watching my TV and thought I saw something. Is it just me? Or, my God, these videos always stress me out because I end up turning my brightness up all the way and I get jump scared and I almost never believe that they're real, but if I have to get scared at them, I guess you do too. Half of these videos is like stuff that I genuinely find creepy and half of it is, well, if I have to suffer, so do you. You're the ones who tag me in these videos and make this entire channel possible, so make sure to tag me at Loeybugxo. But if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Anyways, moving on. How about a paranormal video that I actually think is quite real? This is from 6 Sean Lee. POV, it's 3 a.m. and you just woke up to someone walking around your apartment.
So I was sleeping here. I had Phoebe just right here. She was like tucked between my leg and the cushion. I just turned this light on. But also, if you come to my kitchen, there are 2 separate string lights, 2 strand lights, right? So you're telling me 2 strands of overhead lights just burn out last night? Because this came back on. This one was already having kind of problems, but I never had problems with this set of string lights. It's flickering. You can see it flickering. So my entire apartment's dark, completely pitch black. I just turned on, obviously, my bedroom TV, but it's just pitch black, and I just hear shuffling all the way from the hallway to the office bedroom over there, back to the hallway, behind me, behind my head, here, stopped. That's when I was like, what the f-? All the way over to my bedroom. The second I heard it get like here, I jumped off my couch. Phoebe took off. And I'm looking around in the darkness like this, and there's just a whole lot of nothing. So...
That is so terrifying. The way he was describing it was just giving me chills. But I have to say, like, initially I was like, well, maybe the string lights aren't like that crazy of a thing. Like, I feel like these little neon lights, I've had them for years and years, and they've kind of gone out at different times, even though I always only really use them at the same time. But also, if you bought things around the similar time, maybe they'd burn out together. But the coincidence of that happening and then this just doesn't seem like much of a coincidence to me. If you want to see some creepy ghost photos, go no further, because this TikToker finally captured the tall man at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Now, I was a little skeptical going into this, and they had to like pretty much freeze frame it for me, but yeah, there is a tall man in that image when apparently there was no one there. Now, I did a little Googling because I was curious about this shadow man. Apparently, he is said by some sources to be 10 feet tall and capable of crawling on the ceiling. This Redditor actually captured the apparition on camera, and I think this is a really clear one too. Maybe not as solid as the other one, but that almost makes it weirder because it's translucent. It's captioned, taken in the 2nd story shadow hall where they report a 7-foot tall shadow figure. This was taken at the end of the night. There was one other guy with me and he was in front of me to the left. He had the flashlight, so there's no way the shadow was either of ours. I'm seeing conflicting heights. I'm gonna choose to believe 7 feet. He looked much taller in the other image. Perhaps he lies about his height, just like men in real life.
If you don't believe in ghosts, stop what you're doing because I guarantee I will change your mind before the end of this video. Behind me is a picture that I took in 2010, and in my opinion, it is one of the best paranormal photos ever taken. If anyone else had taken this picture, I truly would have never believed that it was not photoshopped. I would be convinced that it was fake and that the person who took it was a liar.
So TikTok user Heyitsbellz sets up this photo for us. It's her and a couple of friends one night, and they're just goofing around and they end up locking one of their friends out of the car. This friend jumps on the windshield as like a joke, you know, like don't drive away without me. And so Bells snaps a picture. She doesn't even realize that anything is weird about it until she posts it to Facebook later and someone calls out that there's something in the mirror behind her.
Right here on the passenger seat is my friend Lindsay. She has blonde hair. This is all relevant, I promise. Right here in the shotgun seat is my friend Valerie. She had brown hair. And then I'm sitting in the very back in the middle with my brown hair. And then you can see the outline of our friend Brittany. She had jumped on the windshield. So now I'm going to turn your attention to the rear view mirror. You can see the top of my friend Lindsay's head, her strawberry blonde hair, as she was turned to the side, looking at my friend and laughing. Now I'm going to zoom in and I want you to take a closer look. Here we are zoomed in. Again, you can see her head right here, the whole outline. You can even see her little wispy stray hairs. Now look directly behind her head and tell me who is the man sitting behind her with the blonde hair, the defined brow bone, the eye divot, and the nose. I was sitting in the back seat in the middle with no one else back there. And here it is outlined if you're having trouble seeing it. Again, this picture is 14 years old, and at this point, I have literally shown it to hundreds of people, and I wouldn't be surprised if thousands have seen it. This has truly become a picture that so many of my friends and family know about, and they'll share it with their friends and family. It's been passed around a lot. It's been sent into paranormal investigators. I have never been able to get a logical explanation as to what it is that we're looking at.
She goes on to say that she's literally sent this image to paranormal investigators and that one of them told her it was just a headrest. What? That's a headrest? Really? I would literally be more inclined to believe it was the spirit of Eminem himself in this car than believe that was a headrest. Like, I get pareidolia. I get like seeing things where there's nothing. That is a head. It's crazy because, like she said earlier, this is one of those stories where like you hear about it and you're like, no way, is that real? Like, that has to be explained. But the fact that like it's been this photo that's been passed around all this time, like a, hey, do you believe in ghosts? No, want to see this image? I love that. It almost is like your own little built-in urban legend, you know? And I think it's a ghost. I mean, based on the way that she's telling this story, I sure as heck don't think that was someone who was there. If you guys have any paranormal photos or just paranormal stories in general, will you please email me? I use my email so sporadically, my LoeyLane Storytime email that I have in the bottom of my videos. But I love reading them from time to time and scaring the crap out of myself. The Crescent Hotel is said to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. And recently I found some footage from the hotel that leads me to believe that is true. This video from Amusingangelina on TikTok went super viral last year, and she believes that she catches a ghost on camera singing at 6 o'clock in the morning on her balcony at the Crescent Hotel. So she gets up to see if anyone is over there. Of course, she doesn't spot anybody at all. And she knows that her daughter would definitely not want to miss a ghostly encounter, so she decides to wake her up.
Sydney, there's a ghost singing out here. I'm not even kidding you. It's supposedly coming from over there, but it stops and goes and goes. It's real. You'll hear it. Just sit and listen. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
That video went viral, and I certainly hear what sounds like something humming or singing. And then earlier this year, actually, I don't know if it was like the same trip or if she lives in this area and goes back regularly, but she posted this video. Caption, "A ghost is walking around our room in the most haunted room in the most haunted hotel in America," in which it sounds like she is indeed capturing the sound of something walking around the room.
Somebody is walking around this room, and my daughter's in the shower. You hear the shower going? Do you hear that? Me walking, okay? It's over here somewhere. I'm still. Look. I'm still. Now I'm walking. is that? It's creeping me out. Opening that door. There's something behind it. That door is trying to open.
Apparently this is Michael's room. As the legend goes, Michael was this Irish stonemason who came and was working at the Crescent Hotel, and he was very high up one day and he saw a pretty lady on the street and he was just flirting and he fell to his death. And now apparently that area where he died was room 218, or where room 218 is now. So it said he haunts that room. I find that very interesting. Do I need to travel? Do I need to go to haunted places again? It's been so long. Everyone blink once if I should go ghost hunting again. Let me know where. Why it has become such a phenomenon on the internet to find creepy hidden spaces in your home in the year 2025 is beyond me, but I'm not complaining, especially not with videos like this from a creator named Hotmessstesss on TikTok. This video is captioned, "Creepy thing we found in our 100-year-old house," and boy howdy is it creepy.
We just bought a house that's over 100 years old, and we just found the creepiest but yet like coolest little thing. We're going on a field trip and it's in a very creepy location. Look at all this charm of the old house. So the basement, or whatever, actually has a old school cellar entrance. Yeah, she's dirty. All right, we just got here. I haven't done any cleaning. It's very dirty, but it's so tight in here. Oh my god, look at all these spider webs. Okay, now we're in the actual basement space. This is what we stumbled on that I wanted to show you. It is literally, hold on, I need to turn the flash on. Oh my gosh, that just made it look even creepier. Look at all these cobwebs. Okay, it's a hatch to a hidden compartment. Mind you, we have walked by this a million times and never noticed it. I'm like scared to open it. Oh my gosh. Even the dust is literally pouring out of it and I don't know what's in it. I don't know if I'm gonna open it right now because I don't want to like breathe all that in. I don't know. Should we go and explore it?
So down this creepy little set of stairs in this basement is this like cabinet crawl space thing. I don't really know what you call it here. And there was a ton of stuff shoved inside. In the next video, we kind of get a glimpse into what that is.
And then I'm gonna stand back because dust poured out last time. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at all that dust pouring out. This is my solution because I don't want to breathe any of that in. So sorry if I'm muffled. It's looking like a bunch of old papers. Whatever this wrapped thing is. Again, I don't want to touch anything yet, guys, because look how dirty and gross. And then this little container that has a welcoming message. Here, I'm going to stick you guys in. And it's like boarded off back here. So I can't really see what's... Oh my gosh, that looks terrifying. Ah! Sorry, there's like spider webs all up and around. I can't really see back there. Can y'all see back there? What is that? Oh my god, what is that? Okay, so there's something farther back there. I didn't even notice before that that was boarded off. We got old papers. Whatever this is, and I don't know if there's anything back underneath there.
There were another couple videos on this situation. She ended up going through a lot of this stuff with gloves on safely, and there really wasn't much to note. It's kind of just a bunch of paper. It sort of just seems like people shoved trash in there, but what's cool is the paper was dated from like the 1970s, if I was reading that correctly, and that kind of stuff is really cool to just see in your house. Like that's like a 50-year-old news. Oh my god, the 70s were 50 years ago. Oh dear lord, that's... I think nothing has unnerved me more. Nothing has scared me more in this video than that.
Since you didn't quite get an answer for like this door, while she never goes in there or is able to explore it directly, I wanted to include this part of her update so that you guys could see what she had to say.
No, because hands down, that looks like a freaking door. I did not notice it until I was watching it back, but that fully looks like a door, like door frame. And then you can see on the other side, and it literally looks like a door. And then I have no freaking clue what that thing is. I started seeing that when I was trying to like scoot you guys over as far as I could reach. And it freaked me out so bad, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it doesn't even make sense for that to be a door, because that would be going past the foundation of like the upper level of the house. So there should just be dirt on the other side of that. I'm so confused.
The whole thing is really creepy, but this was a house that this person had chosen to buy. I think probably knew it was an older home. It's probably also not that bizarre to find just items left behind by previous owners. Yes, it was a little weird that it was shoved in this secret space in like this basement. It looked quite creepy, I will be honest with you. But these videos, oh, they're terrifying. So Rachel Parkinson 5 and her family were just staying in an Airbnb one night when they noticed something a little off there about the kitchen counters. Okay, they weren't looking quite right. And what did you know? It pulls open and yeah, it's a secret door. Of course it's a secret door. Why would it not be a secret door? However, this is an Airbnb, okay? This is already just giving insane barbarian vibes. The best you can hope for is that it was a really bad design choice. However, in the next video, they do go down there.
Okay, let's go.
Why are we doing this?
Oh my god. Who's going first? I got the line. Oh. I actually hate this. Wait, I feel like I need to be... Wait, I feel like I need to be second because...
No, because, okay. I'm not letting go of her hand.
Oh my god. What the? Yeah. You're so brave. Oh my god, you're so brave. What is that? God, what noise? What is that?
At the end of that video, there is a mattress on the ground and a blanket. So just barbarian then. However, in a third video, they give the actual tour, and what is down there actually kind of just looks like a bunker.
Well, what if we get locked though? Don't I need to stay up here? Yeah, someone stay up there. Okay, well I'm filming, so does someone make sure that no one runs and locks up?
Well, the glass is down here for extra bowls. They're really
What a waste of space.
See, I told you it wasn't scary.
Okay.
It feels scary, but do we all feel better? Yeah, I do actually. Okay. I was very concerned. I was like,
There's no mattress or anything.
No. Is it like...
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
If you're confused about the mattress, they said in the caption that they were kind of just messing with people. They had no idea their first video was going so incredibly viral. And they just, like, they said, chucked a mattress down. And yeah, we're just kind of rolling with a barbarian vibe. So that was very creepy. Good on you. But it's crazy that the actual space is just as strange. I mean, I have to assume it was just a bad renovation choice, but not even because it swings open. So I guess they can totally be in use regularly. I don't know. Still giving barbarian. Still don't really trust Airbnbs. Gracie on stage captioned this video, "Just me and the door to a brick room under my summer cabin that closed and locked after I opened it yesterday. In parentheses, we don't have a key." Now in part 2, she takes us inside of that little room.
I didn't mention in the previous video, but there are a lot of weird things that happen at this summer home. Like just today, I went and I sat in my room and I turn around and I look at the door and I see one of my siblings go down the hallway to the bathroom. So I get up because I also had to go into the bathroom and I look, nobody's in there. So I go to my siblings' room. They were both sitting on the bed. They said, no, we didn't go into the bathroom. I'm editing the video and I realized that in both, I forgot to mention that our summer home is right next to the Stanley Hotel, if that does anything.
You know, you guys are getting a lot of voiceover in this video, but I feel like I just left a lot of stuff out. You know what I mean? I didn't get all my thoughts across to you. And if I'm here to yap, I'm here to yap to my fullest potential. This crawl space is so freaking creepy. I find it fascinating that so many people have these as well. You guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I discovered that I had a secret basement in my home within the past, like, year, 2. Oh my god, no, it's been like 3 years. That's crazy. Also, the reason that this video is muted is because it was just music. You're not missing anything. Anyways, creepy, spooky ooky.
As soon as she said that it was next to the Stanley Hotel, I mean, that tells me all I need to know. I have had the most insane paranormal experiences of my entire life at the Stanley Hotel. The most infamous one being my bottle cap story, which I will not tell you the full details of right now, but essentially something threw a bottle cap while I was ghost hunting. And as I was telling the security guard and the brand rep on this trip that I was on about it, the bottle cap moved towards me on the floor by itself. So yeah, I'm used to that. These ghosts are not messing around, okay? So maybe it is haunted. Maybe it's just a sheer coincidence. Maybe somebody was going in there to get something. So I don't know. But I do know that there's been some really creepy stories going around recently. You guys know anytime that there's like a story trend on TikTok, I eat it up. I love reading people's personal scary stories. And these are some of the scariest ones I've stumbled across recently. My husband bought this antique picture at a thrift store. We were going to remove the picture and just use the frame. The night before I was going to remove the picture from the frame, I dreamt the man in this picture came to me and told me to never remove their picture from that frame. After my dream, we decided to hang their picture in our foyer to remember and honor this couple. I never dreamt of the man in the picture again. We all love a good haunted doll, but who does not love a good haunted framed photo? That is really, really creepy, and I fully believe it was not just a dream. But that's not the only one I have for you. Luckycactuss said, oh, we're sharing scary dreams. I woke up in my bedroom and I went to use the restroom, stepped on someone laying face down on the floor, woke my husband up and told him. The person got up and was my husband's doppelganger, who then attacked us. I stab him with my nightstand knife and it doesn't work. I realize it's a dream, so I fall to wake myself up. I wake up, look over the bed. He's staring up at me and says, "You lose," before I actually woke up. Oh, I hate a false awakening in a dream. We've talked about this before. That is one of the worst scary dream tropes of all time, like waking up like 5 times before you're actually awake. This one says, creepiest dream I've ever had. Being in a car with my dead ex-boyfriend, then turning to him and saying, "Hey, you're dead. How are we together right now?" He then looks right at me and says, "You weren't supposed to say that." Then I woke up. Oh, that one is really spooky. Oh my God. I was actually telling someone about this recently, but when I lucid dream and I realize that I'm dreaming within a dream, everyone will stop what they're doing and all turn to look at me. That is so horrific. I cannot believe my brain comes up with that shit. Jadeeamaris says, a strange man in my dream telling me to wake up because there's someone watching me. Me waking up with a hangover thinking that was a weird dream until I look over. And apparently their roommate was watching her doing some creepy stuff. So this one was more scary IRL, like a scary dream that was scarier when she woke up. Okay, enough of the spooky dreams, but I still have more creepy stories. Since we're talking about things we can't explain, when I was a kid, my TV flipped to a channel that was playing CCTV footage of parts of my own house. Told my parents, and we couldn't find any cameras where the footage was shown, nor could we get the footage back on the TV. Ew, that is such a modern day nightmare. God. That is so scary, actually. While asking for other people's scary stories, Jada Doesn't Exist says that growing up as a kid, I saw my dad on numerous occasions with glowing red eyes. The most memorable time was when I was sleeping in bed with him around 4 years old and he peeked in the room around the corner. I was terrified. He told me to go back to sleep and I looked over and saw my real ? Dad sleeping next to me. Oh boy, a good old childhood mimic story. Yay! If you guys watch my TikToks or my YouTube shorts, I kind of just post them everywhere these days, but if you ever watch those videos, you know I've really been enjoying reading people's comment stories in like threads like this. So I thought I'd share some of the creepiest paranormal ones. I just found the creepiest comment section on the internet. Tell me your spookiest paranormal experience. I don't want to hear the door open by itself. Try to make me lose sleep. My entire childhood, I would have nightmares about a boy who lived in my closet. He would open my closet door and jump on my bed, or open the closet door and call me by my name. Years later, after I moved out, my parents finally told me that the last owner's son himself in the closet. I woke up at like 3 a.m. because my cat was hissing at something, and I saw myself staring at me, like standing over me in a different outfit that I do not, in fact, own. Okay. Tripped over a small tombstone near night. Being in a bad mood, I cursed the name on it. Got back to my room and felt a presence and an angry sounding breath. Went back and apologized. No more presents. Now, I saw so many people post about seeing the Grim Reaper. Was riding in the back of the minivan and I used to look out the back door windows. I saw clearly the Grim Reaper walking across the field of the high school we were driving by. Kid got himself unalived the same night in that field. When I was 8 or 9, woke up around 2 a.m. to go get water, and my paternal great-grandmother was baking chocolate chip cookies in my kitchen. She gave me a welcoming smile and then disappeared. She's been gone since the 1960s. I saw the Grim Reaper in the kitchen when I went to use the bathroom in the middle of the night as a kid. I started banging on my mom's door screaming. It was just all black, no features, with the pole thing, like the scythe. Sister and I saw the Grim Reaper in our house one night, and the next day our grandpa passed away. After an autopsy during paramedic school, I was driving home and I was 2 blocks from my house when I passed someone driving the same car and who looked exactly like the girl from the autopsy. The look she gave me when she drove by just felt eerie. A woman called my name twice. I tore my house apart looking for her. Cupboard, closets, all of it. When I couldn't find anything, I sat down and she laughed at me. I heard a man's voice consoling my crying son over the baby monitor. Shh, you're okay. Bursted into the nursery and no one was there. Freaked me out. The man's voice was not familiar. Do you guys want to hear more? What's something that happened to you as a kid but nobody believes? My imaginary friends were way too realistic and I was so obsessed with them, I just know they were the spirits of children who passed. Many people said breathing underwater. They experienced breathing underwater. This comment says, my sister and I swear on the Bible that we could legit do it when we were young. We also had the exact same dream one night when we shared a room. I remember flying over a tree too. I breathed underwater. I swear to God. I watched my stomach go up and down with each breath. I don't know what it was, but I used to be absolutely terrified of one specific corner of the ceiling in my room. Used to look up at it all the time, felt like there was something there. I saw shadowy figures every night, seeing the Hat Man almost every night. I saw a spider walk out of my room in a top hat with a briefcase. Shadow people are evolving. Floating down the stairs, like just take the first step and float to the bottom, always happened when no one was watching. Another person who swears they floated down the stairs, also, why were we all on the stairs? I used to see 3 blurry figures walk out of my wardrobe around my room and disappear back in there every night for years. It bothered me so much that I had therapy as a kid for it. You guys wanted more, so here are more creepy stories about things that have happened to people when they were kids that no one would ever believe. A man looking like my dad came almost every night into my bedroom watching me, but it wasn't my dad. I was just going to sleep and I had turned off the light. As soon as I lay down, I felt 3 fingers touch my foot, slowly, like it was counting, and then it slid off. I froze and lay still for a while. I used to get dragged down the stairs by God knows what, and then I'd wake up at the bottom of the stairs. This would be a repetitive thing. I'm pretty sure I was swapped out with another me in the woods, and I have both memories of going in and staying and coming out as one person. A fever dream, I guess. When I would go to bed, there would be a line of shadows that would pass by my bed at night and it would freak me out. This comment kind of got cut off. Basically, this girl says that she swears she has a memory of a man trying to abduct her while she was out to eat with her grandparents. Like this vivid memory of kicking and screaming and trying to get away from the guy, and none of her family says it ever happened. Like they all are completely convinced it's like a dream she had. And lastly, this person says that when they were in kids club when they were younger, they had a friend who always played with them. She told me she was a vampire. She gave me her phone number and I called it and it said the line was disconnected. He also apparently told her that she was leaving, and then the next day this person asked their counselor about where this friend had moved to. She had no idea who they were talking about, and this friend was in none of the yearbooks. I can't believe I'm asking this, but do you want to hear more? Okay, these are the stories that made healthcare workers believe in ghosts, and I'm already scared. A patient died in a room. Hours later, the call light kept going off and no one was in there. An older nurse went in there and had to tell that deceased patient that she was gone and needed to move on. The call light never went off again. Hey, who's that lady behind you? Me, I'm not sure, but I'm sure she's nice. Patient, she's crawling on the floor. Heard a voice talking with my dementia patient in her room. Walked in, she was facing her husband's ashes and said, "We're just fighting, we're okay." I walked right out. True diva behavior is fighting with your husband beyond the grave. This might be the scariest one. There is a patient that passed away in our hospital back in 1999. To this day, her labels print from our printers and she will pull up on our acquisition for patient searches. This has still happened when we moved departments and had all new equipment. Woke up from a dream at 3:23 a.m. of my patient telling me that she wasn't coming to therapy today, you brat. She had died that morning at 3:23 a.m. Every time someone passed on our floor, their empty room call lights would go off several times over the next few hours. I think they didn't know that they had passed. My hospice patient with dementia started telling me that her daughter was coming to visit her. She only had sons, so I asked about the husband. Apparently, her only girl had been a late-term miscarriage in the 70s. I don't have enough characters to type it all out, but I was running to a code blue, passed an elderly lady in the hall, almost took her out, pointed her to the steps. Same lady was laying in the bed when I got to the code. My pediatric patient asked why other kids got to walk around at night. He was the only patient in the unit, but he saw 4 different kids. I always ask y'all if you want more, but these are pretty creepy, so maybe you just go read them for yourself. Tell me about your scary dreams. Don't give me I was being chased. I want the unhinged ones. The dream that made you wake up unsure of what was real. Look up the Thatcher effect. I was in the middle of a football field, middle of the night, can't see further than 1 meter. I hear footsteps, reflectors turn on and throw dim light. I'm surrounded by people. They all have Thatcher effect faces. The Thatcher effect is where we can recognize a face when it's like upside down, but when you flip this the correct way, the features are completely distorted. So that's really creepy to visualize. I had a horrible false awakening nightmare that went 10 plus layers deep, and every time I woke up, it's because my doppelganger was killing me in increasingly horrifying, painful ways. I could actually feel the pain. It was excruciating and terrifying. Other people talking about false awakening dreams, this person said that they got stuck in one for 42 times. It wasn't intentional, but one night I started lucid dreaming, and when I told the people in my dream that I knew they weren't real, they turned completely demonic. It was one of the scariest dreams I've ever had. I woke up terrified. That's always been my experience lucid dreaming. The second that I know that I'm dreaming, everybody in my dream stops what they're doing and stares at me. It's genuinely terrifying. I was in a false awakening dream for about an hour. Every time I died in the dream, I woke up in a different place. Every time I woke up, I thought I was actually awake, but I never was, until around the 150th time where I actually woke up. This would screw me up so bad. I had a dream that my alive dog's corpse kept appearing in the corners of my house, and when I walked past the window, he was from the roof watching me. Drove a tractor with Gordon Ramsay. Very scary. I saw my own body and it opened its eyes wide and screamed in my face. I once had a sleep paralysis dream where the boiled one stood in my doorway for a long time, and then all of a sudden he turned into a bunch of bugs that ate out the insides of my body, and there was like a camera shift with me looking at my hollowed out body, and the phrase, "I'm a hollow shell," comes out of my mouth, and then I wake up. The comments on this video are crazy. What's something that you legitimately cannot explain that happened to you as a kid? One commenter saying here that they see their memories in the third person. I was in a deep sleep and I heard a voice in my dream say, "Go check on your sister." And I woke up, walked in the bathroom, and she was having a seizure. To this day, I believe it was Jesus himself. Definitely somebody looking out for your sister. Another saying, "I don't know if this counts. I had literally no perception of what was real or not as a kid, mostly separating what memories were dreams and what actually happened. I still have memories that might not be real." Alone in bed, felt like a tight hug for a while, couldn't move. Kind of comforting. Then saw a shadow leave through the window. Next morning, I found out my great-grandma had passed an hour before that happened. This is another person saying that they see their memories seemingly through the third person. When I recall memories of when I was a child, I'm always looking at myself from above. I'm never seeing my memories as if I'm looking through my own eyes, but rather like I'm watching myself. It's weird. I had 3 sleep paralysis experiences on the same night, and on the third, I swear I could hear "sleeping is for stupids." Like, okay? I used to see shadow people lurking around my house all the time. One day I brought it up to my family and they all freaked out because they had been seeing them too, especially my dad, who had been telling my mom for months, and she just thought he was crazy. This one is really freaky. A few years ago, I had a dream I was sitting in a kitchen with 2 kids and a tall man. Flashback to this past year, I was standing in the kitchen with my 2 kids and husband. It was real bad deja vu. I used to have the scariest deja vu as a kid. If you guys like these stories, let me know and I'll tell you my own really scary story from when I was a kid. One time I had fully made my bed with a nice comforter and it was tucked in tight, and I saw an imprint appear like someone had just sat down on my bed. No one was in my room. I was chilling in my room and I saw a figure looking like my dad outside my door tell me dinner's ready. My dad wasn't even home for work. And the original poster's response of "no, no, 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 no" is very accurate. I was really interested. So many people said that they could see themselves in third person. Like, is that a common thing? Is there an explanation for that? Anyways, if you guys want a part 2, or for me to tell you my own personal childhood scary story I can't explain, let me know, and stay spooky, friends. Tell me your scariest paranormal experience. I don't mean some OMG my lights flickered or I saw a door close by itself. I mean unhinged, like so bad you couldn't sleep. When I was 12, my door opened slightly and I heard a man whispering my name and come to me late at night. It was not a family member, as my dad is the only man in the house, and he insisted it wasn't him. Probably paranoia, but I was scared. An old clock that was passed down from my great-grandmother. The chiming wind is jammed, so you can't wind them up. It only ever makes noise when a family member is about to pass away. Every time, without fail. I was home alone and my printer printed a blank page while I was across the house, and then I heard a knock on the door. When I went to check, no one was there. And then I kid you not, I swear to God, I heard my dead grandpa laughing. One time I had a dream where I went downstairs to get a glass of water. Didn't know it was a dream at all. I could feel the cold and everything. I went back up to my room, and in the very corner was a maybe 10-foot tall black figure staring down at my sleeping body, which I could see too. And then it snapped and looked at me, which was when I woke up. I had a large, massive scratch mark going across the middle of my back. Yeah, time to move, bestie. I was on FaceTime with my best friend and I saw a little girl pass by my door and my phone fell out of my hand. I literally didn't move for 5 minutes. Something entered my room one night and never left. I was wide awake but too scared to look. I heard it entering and closing the door, and its breathing was delayed. My phone started talking in the middle of the night, like human talking, no joke. I saw a figure standing at an abandoned building. A few months later, that same figure chased me in my dream. Okay, hear me out. I'm exposed to these kinds of things 24/7 since I was a kid, and so is my family. But the most blood-cooling experience I've had was hearing a deep voice saying, "Don't fall asleep." Right when I was right in between consciousness and sleep, it echoed through my mind. I felt it vibrating as it did. I did not go to sleep that night. Do you want to hear more? I just found the scariest Ouija board story of all time on TikTok. Do not watch this if you are scared easily. It was posted in the comment section of this video asking people for scary Ouija board stories from when they were younger. I was 13 and had friends over. We had my great grandma's Ouija board. She was born in 1915, so it was at least 70 years old at this point. My room used to be her room also. Keep that in mind. We played with it and a man named Ben answered. He died in a car crash. His family was still alive. His spirit liked my closet. He brought others with him, and he was hungry. We all thought someone was moving the planchette, so we stopped and put it away. We all laid down to go to sleep, and a few minutes later, my radio turned on by itself and was skipping channels and landed on a static one. We called my mom in, and she turned it off. She swore we did it to mess with her. Later that night, one of my friends woke up and started sleepwalking. She was walking around my room saying, "Where's my key?" She walked slow to the middle of the room, looked at me and my other friend, and then dropped to the ground. We threw stuffed animals at her for a few until she woke up. She had no memory of what happened. The next morning, we told my mom about it, and she said, "You know, your great-grandma used to run around this house asking where her keys were." I swear to you, every comment on this video is so freaking scary. I could read so many of them, but yeah. That one really left me freaked out. Sorry for the jump scare here, but it's low from a few days later, and I filmed this first half of the video with the full intention of filming the second half the next day. But as you may already know, I've had some crazy health stuff going on this year, and I had some testing done that I've had a bit of complications from. Everything is fine. I'm okay. I just am not feeling the best. So today has been my first day that I feel like I could even film an outro for this video and tell you that I'm actually gonna do a part 2 to this later on this week. I do apologize. You guys know with these like mega compilations, I don't normally break them into parts, but you've all been so incredibly understanding with me recently, and I have really enjoyed sort of getting back into the swing of posting. It's really hard for me to take these long breaks. I feel like I just get so out of it, and it's hard to come back. So I want to keep that momentum going, you know, but I am going to have to bring you a part 2 to this video because otherwise it would not be out for like a week. So thank you so much for watching this part 1. If you did enjoy, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A special thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks like members only videos, polls help me decide on future video topics, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.